Sophie was always busy. Between her job as a teacher, taking care of her two kids, and helping her aging parents, her days were a whirlwind. She barely had time to sit down, let alone think about herself. One evening, after another long day, Sophie found herself sitting on the floor of her attic, searching for an old photo album her mom had asked for. As she rummaged through the boxes, her hand brushed against a small glass jar tucked away in the corner. It was dusty with a faded label that read, "Moments for later." Sophie opened the jar and pulled out a piece of paper. It was her handwriting, written when she was just 16. Dancing barefoot in the rain for the first time felt like flying. She smiled. She had forgotten that moment, but now she could see it so clearly. Her younger self, carefree and laughing under the summer rain. She unfolded another note. Grandma's hot chocolate recipe. She said it always tastes better with a pinch of salt. And another. The time Dad helped me build a birdhouse even though it was crooked. Sophie's chest tightened. These were small, everyday moments, but they felt bigger than life now. She had saved these memories for later, but later had become years. For hours, Sophie sat there reading every memory she had written down. Each note felt like a whisper from a version of herself she had forgotten. She realized something important that night. She had been so focused on doing everything right, being the perfect mom, the perfect daughter, the perfect teacher, that she had stopped noticing the little things. The way her kids' laughter sounded when they played outside. The warmth of the sun on her face during her lunch break. The hugs her mom gave her every Sunday. Always just a second too long. She was living, but she wasn't feeling. The next day, Sophie made a decision. She didn't quit her job or plan a big vacation. She didn't need to. Instead, she started carrying a small notebook in her bag. Whenever she noticed something that made her smile, even for a second, she wrote it down. Morning sunlight on the kitchen table. Emma's messy ponytail, she looks just like I did at her age. The smell of fresh bread at the bakery. At first, it felt silly. But as the days went by, Sophie realized something magical was happening. She wasn't just noticing these moments, she was living in them. Months later, Sophie's daughter, Emma, found the notebook on the counter. "Mom, what's this?" she asked. Sophie smiled. "It's my jar of quiet moments, but now I write them down instead of saving them in a jar." Emma flipped through the pages, her eyes lighting up. "You wrote about me." "Of course I did," Sophie said. "You and your brother are in most of my favorite moments." That evening, Sophie found Emma in her room, scribbling in a little journal of her own. "What are you doing?" Sophie asked. Emma held up the notebook and grinned. "Starting my own jar." Sophie didn't change her whole life. She didn't stop being busy. But by slowing down just enough to notice the small, beautiful things, she found a kind of happiness she didn't know she was missing. Because life isn't made up of big, perfect moments. It's built on the little ones we often overlook. What's one simple, beautiful moment that brightened your day? Share it in the comments below. We'd love to hear your stories. You can also start your own jar of quiet moments to treasure those small, special times. If this story touched you, share it with someone who could use a reminder about the beauty in everyday life. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and thank you for watching.